Namibia, in the southwestern corner of Africa, is home to the celebrated Communal Conservancy Program, where rights to natural resources were given to the people whose lives depend on these resources. Namibia has over 20% of its land dedicated to community conservation, which means that today 1 in 4 rural Namibians are choosing to live with and protect wildlife. This has proven critical in the fight against wildlife crime. So often overlooked, community involvement in conservation in Namibia is a cornerstone to the country's success. The world's last free-roaming population of black rhino can be found in the northwestern Erongo and Kunene regions of Namibia. Behind this conservation success story is the visionary approach by the government of Namibia, coupled with the efficient coordinated response from non-governmental organizations. Ultimately, though, this approach only works because of the indigenous peoples and local communities who are the eyes and ears in every corner and the first line of defense against wildlife crime.
Wildlife means a lot to the rural communities. Wildlife is currently, as it stands, is our rural economic assets. Conservation and wildlife in communities has changed the livelihood of the rural communities. Our government has really thought this nicely through to set value on wildlife, and also for every ordinary community members to see wildlife as their personal assets. And I'm thinking that is from this angle that people are taking a very strong point and approach really to conserve wildlife. So everybody is trying their level best, from the government to the traditional authority and the local community that are directly engaged with wildlife and are benefiting from wildlife.
Chief Petrus Okongo speaks to the importance of community involvement in conservation.
Oye nera no nadani aunsa kawasa ma kaisa itradide community ke mut ni ha community ke ngau a ngara no sta kuro se ngai ni tuan tinisia tuan aroma belangre kaisa ti kam ni se seradin hupti en komste aroma belangre sa so nes aida ke sida kaisa ngisa ngabadi dani
Communities are very important because they are the ones that live in the area, they know the area, and are the ones that are sort of responsible for monitoring these animals, because the rhino rangers are coming from the communities. They are part of the communities. The rhino rangers, the community game guards, are members of the community, and they are employed by the community. They are very important because they are the ones that go out in the field and do this sort of dangerous job where they are monitoring wildlife, recording incidences that are happening within the conservancy and reporting it back to the conservancy, whereby the conservancy actually takes the feedback to the Ministry of Environment to take some important decisions. Communities have a growing sense of pride when it comes to rhino in the area and rhino conservation. This all came about whereby the youth started getting involved with creating awareness around rhino, and they did a lot of events like cleaning up campaigns, and the community started asking, like, what are you doing? You know, it's someone you know who's actually doing this, and that built more sort of pride, and people are starting to ask more sort of like of the right questions about the rhino, what is happening with the rhino, how can they be part of it. Rhino needs a new story in the sense that, I mean, we're growing tired of talking about poaching and poaching. And we have seen over the past couple of years the poaching in the northwest has gone down. And this is all because of the communities. We need to work together with the communities to start telling this new story.
We are talking about over 300,000 Namibians that are involved in conservation.
I'm Martin Nabasep.
I'm Jafet.
My name is Terry.
I'm working for Safe Rhino Trust.
Like by Andy Velteberg.
I started in 1998.
I'm now working for 40 years.
22 years.
I'm here out in the bush. We are protecting the rhinos every day.
La kinders kan ook een dag gaan weer daar was iets in de wereld.
And I will die for rhino.
Community conservation is about managing natural resources sustainably to generate returns for rural people. With the common goal being conservation, this has seen wildlife recoveries and environmental restoration. Furthermore, people have also benefited tremendously. There are many direct links to the improvement of rural lives through conservation. Development, empowerment and economic opportunities are all derived from Namibia's communal conservancy program.
The local peoples here, they do have a full understanding of wildlife here. A lot of things change just because of the conservancy. You can see that pipe there. It's the conservancy who put that water into the village. So the majority of people knows the value of wildlife. They know the value. If we conserve our wildlife, who will benefit from it? So even the majority of people that we also arrested, none of them are from these areas. All of them they are outsiders.
So what these countries, the big country and the market is doing to our rural communities, that is stealing from somebody else's properties. That is denying those communities the right to benefit from what is rightfully theirs. It's a way of impoverishing our rural communities. How can you come to somebody's kraal and just take animals without their permissions? I can tell you there are communities that live primarily from wildlife and tourism. Imagine if there is no wildlife anymore, how would they survive? Mind me, if you go into this rural area, you will see schools being built with profits from conservation. You will see water points being put up from income from conservation. You will see soup kitchens for elderly people where they are waiting while they're waiting for their pensions, being prepared from the profit of conservation. Kids has been sent to school through conservation money. It's not much, but this is the beginning of many more things to come.
Rhino Rangers program is growing. The community sees that it's needed to have these guys out in the field. Wherever if you travel around and you meet local community people and you are wearing this t-shirt, this again, say, that's our program. That's our program, that's our local. And everybody support Rhino Ranger program. Because the peoples are employed by the communities and they work for the communities. They report back to the community. Whenever they see the rangers on the back of the vehicle, then they know our guys are going to protect our animals. So we will try our best to continue doing what we are doing. So poachers, they are quite very clever people. Sometimes you think that you manage to get them down. While you are relaxing, they are planning. They might come back, they might try to knock us down, but we will never give up.
As the old adage goes, it takes a village. Truer words were never spoken, especially as it pertains to the conservation culture found in Namibia. Here, every village and every person living with wildlife has a connection with and true understanding of the importance of this balance and working together. Communities in northwestern Namibia are the front line, the heart and soul, and the champions of the world's last free rhinos.